The length of my outline depends on the story itself and the size of the project. It could be anywhere from a couple of paragraphs to a couple of pages, or it could even be a page full of bullet points. There's no rule on how or that you even should need to write an outline. But for me, I need to write one. It's never a bad idea to have all your story beats in one place. What is up? I'm James E. Roche. Let's talk writing comics. If that's your thing, please like and subscribe. I start my outlining process by taking all of the various brainstorming notes I've written up until now, various scenes, dialogue, and so on, and expand on them with a goal of putting together a concise summary of the story. You're writing this sort of story bible to work off of, or just to have to refer to from time to time when you're writing your script. You want to make sure that you're staying on track. I like to write longhand too, I feel, especially in the beginning. I feel like it gets me into a more creative flow as opposed to typing. There's just something about it. When I'm done with the outline, I want to know most of the major beats and story elements. I say most because I have no idea if a new or a better twist is going to come to me when I'm writing the script. I leave the door wide open for things like that to happen. So I want to know as much as I possibly can, but I don't suspect it's going to be everything. I don't sit and wait for it to be perfect either. I'd like to know the main plot points, the settings, the various incidents, the conflicts, and the interactions that I'm going to build the scenes around. And I very much want to know my main characters too. Things like their personality, their demeanor, what's eating away at them inside. And not just after the inciting incident. I want to know what baggage that they have coming into the story. And I want to be pretty sure how they're going to change from the beginning to the end. This is going to help me write them much better in the script too. Their dialogue, how they react in certain situations. It's going to help me try and create a more sympathetic character, whether they're good or bad. Some of this won't even make it into the story, but the act of writing the outline is me telling myself the story and coming up with these ideas that are going to make the story what it is. So I try to think about them. The length of my outline depends on the story itself and the size of the project. It could be anywhere from a couple of paragraphs to a couple of pages, or it could even be a page full of bullet points. There's no rule on how or that you even should need to write an outline. But for me, I need to write one. It's never a bad idea to have all your story beats in one place. Alright, let's take a look at this mess. This is the outline for Nocturne County, which is the Dr. Seuss meets Sin City crime noir you may remember me talking about in the brainstorming video. It's written across several notebooks, not just in here, and that's not because it's an epic of any sort, but because it's just that, these were the books that I had on me at the time I was working on the outline. So I handwrite the outlines before I type them up and make them look all cute and legible. Then I do most of this, or I did most of this, if not all of the writing for this story and other stories while commuting in and out of New York City. So aside from the love of writing longhand, these were written out of necessity in these little random notebooks because I was usually doing the writing cramped up in a bus. I also want to show you real quick another part of the that just happened. So it's another part of the outline for this book in particular. There's one page here is going to be 14 or 11 pages of actual comic, and I'll break it down further in the next video of taking the outline to script. But you see here that I broke down one line of outline became page 1, this other line happened to become page 2, these lines page 3 and 4, and so on. And it's just a matter of what I felt the outline how I felt it could break down and translate into a script. This one's written as chapters, which made sense, for this particular story, made it easier for me to separate between the different scenes. So I don't go out of my way to get into the details here. Like I mentioned before, I'll save a lot of that scene building work for when I'm writing the script. Here I'm just getting the main characters from the beginning to the end of the scenes and the end of the story. So as you saw, that wasn't neat. It's not grammatically correct. I'm pretty much just vomiting thoughts down onto the page in one long run-on sentence, which doesn't matter at this point. No one's ever going to see any of this early writing work but you. As you're doing it, just try and quiet that self-editor inside of you for the time being and get those pen and get those ideas down onto the paper. So when I finish writing my outline, I like to go ahead and type it up, make it all nice and neat. I do that for 4 reasons. First, it acts like a second draft. The process of typing it up actually allows me to flesh things out and tweak them further. Second, it lets me come away with a clean-cut story bible that I'm going to have as reference as needed. Third, it's going to be very helpful for sharing with my collaborators so that they get a sense of the full scope and story that we're going to tell. And last, I have it ready to copy and paste and steal from when I start to put together a pitch if I'm going to look to pitch this to a publisher. So writing an outline allows me to come away with this guiding document, which I leave open to change as I do the next part of the work. writing the script. I'll get into how I do that and how I can get the most out of my outline by carving it up as I go in my next video. Thanks for checking out the whole video. I really hope you got something useful out of my rambling. Is this how you guys write outlines? Do you guys write outlines? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any writing comics topics you'd like me to talk about, also leave those in the comments below. Like and click that sub button if you dug this.